Welcome to episode 374 of the Geeks for the Win podcast, the tech and gaming podcast from thegeeksforthewin.com, where we cover all things geeky. I'm your host, William McDonald, and I'm joined with my co-host, Stuart.
Known across the internet as Couch.
And we're back, and this week we are going to do an I Recommend style episode.
Yippee!
Even though I think there was a lot of gaming news we could have justified talking about, but we decided to do this while we can. Switch it back and forth until things get undeniably, heavy in the gaming and tech world.
Right.
Righty, I guess our style we've been doing is back and forth, kind of hot potato like.
Right.
So, you want to go first, Stuart? What have you
Sure.
been watching?
Well, the first one, you just kind of get this one out of the way, is actually one you talked about last week.
Ooh, okay.
Demon Lord Retry. I watched it and I enjoyed it. It was good. Yeah, it was good. That's kind of all I gotta say about that. It was I enjoyed it.
Yeah, did you see what I meant by like he's from a different style, like his character's from a different style game than like the world he's in?
Also,
and
that game sounded like it sucked. Like, that game did not sound fun at all.
And it was weird, because, like, there were times where it felt like, he was talking about, like, he created the game.
It sounded like he did, yeah. It definitely sounded like he created the game. And, yeah, it sounded like it sucked. Like, that game did not sound like fun.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it sounded more kind of like, I don't know, more military, like, real-world style game, like, maybe a Metal Gear Online type thing.
It kind of sounded like
I don't know. I've never played the Metal Gear Online stuff, so I don't know, but that's the closest comparison I kind of would get, But yeah, it was.
I'm trying to think of, like,
It was.
Yeah, it was
weird.
Good though. I enjoyed it. It definitely had some similarities to Overlord. Definitely. Now, the fact that he was, a very powerful character in that other world, and he could bring in his minions from, like, he had his NPC minions with him. So it definitely had some similarities.
Yeah, like I said though, it was different because he was a character from a different. It was like he was a character from a different game in a different, in like a way different world, which I've never seen an anime with that style, that twist to the, oh, I'm trapped in another world, or I'm trapped in a video game type animes. So I was telling you before
Overlord.
that we recorded.
Overlord does that, but they go to a similar different world. Like, it's not too different. This one is completely different.
Yeah, I was telling you, I don't mind the, like, I'm in another world type animes being so popular, as long as there's something unique and different.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just the same old, they're just pumping them out, then sure, I'm gonna get tired of that. But if there's a nice twist to it, I don't mind them, putting out more of these I'm in another world type animes.
Yeah.
And
okay, that was my first one.
Okay. I I'm gonna go a little different and not talk about anime right away.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a rebel. Um, Arrow.
Okay.
Now, there's been two episodes since the Crisis event ended. The one following the Crisis event was a backdoor pilot for Green Arrow and the Canaries, which
Okay.
is Mia Queen, his daughter, his and Felicity's daughter, who's from 2040, and what is it? Dinah, the newest Black Canary, who actually has the powers, and she
Okay.
was like on the police force and stuff like that. I can't remember how far you got into
I do remember
Arrow.
her. I remember her.
Okay, yeah, yeah, her, and then okay, Laurel Lance, Black Siren Laurel Lance, who's from I think Earth
Earth
2.
2. Yeah.
She was evil. There's I mean, they've done so much with Laurel Lance. I think I told you once, like, they had, like, on a episode of The Flash, they had, like, Earth X version of Laurel Lance on an episode of The Flash, just weirdly enough, like, I don't know why they keep bringing that actress for all these different versions of Laurel Lance. Because for the most part, it's like, at least I've never really liked her portrayal of Laurel Lance,
No, I was with you
and
there. I never really liked her character at all,
yeah,
and they
she
keep bringing
just
her back even after she fucking died.
yeah, and it's like, "Oh, people don't like her, let's make her a not likable character, and then let's try to redeem her," and then it's like, "Oh, no." It's ugh. But, yeah, it's her, and apparently that somehow they got to 2040 somehow, like, and apparently Dinah, like, she apparently she owns a bar or whatever, like a bar, nightclub or whatever, and then she tells the other
From what I
Laurel
remember of that
the
character, sounds likely.
and she tells Laurel Lance, like, "Oh, there's no record of me at all, and all this and that, and for some reason there's no record of me, like, ever being around," and I'm like, "Then how do you own this diner or this bar, nightclub? Like, how does the like?" It starts
Who
getting
owns this
into
place?
some of the weird, like, Arrow stuff where it's like, that doesn't make sense. You're just making stuff for, like, like,
Saying stuff for shock value that
some
was not
points in
thought out.
Arrow some points in Arrow where it's like, "Okay, how is he able to afford this? Because he doesn't have any money anymore." And Felicity lost, she lost the company of Palmer Tech that Ray Palmer gave her. She lost that in the whatever, you know, the corporate takeover. So how are they affording all, stuff like that? Where it's like, I don't like y'all making it a little too convenient without explaining how. Like, but yeah, it's those three, and I do not like this. I do not like it at all. I think the actress that got to play Mia Queen, I think she's pretty good. She was in, a previous CW show, I think, Shadow Walkers or something like that? I don't know. Shadow something? I don't know, but she was in some other show like that, and then she's like, "Oh, now she's the future daughter of Felicity and Oliver," and there was a lot of, like, her it's like it started out with, like, she's in back in the future, and because, like, well, I'm not gonna get into that, but, she's in 2040, and she doesn't remember anything, and her life is totally different because, like, the last
Shadow hunters.
Shadowhunters, yeah, because the last, like, I don't know, season or so, they've had, like, flash forwards with her, like, in 2040 and stuff like that, and and there's Oliver's son, William, and they had, like, old man Roy Harper and stuff like that, so they had, like, flash forwards since they ran out of flashbacks 'cause that got they got caught up with the flashbacks. So it's like, "Oh, it's a completely different future. Everything's different now because the whole crisis event changed, like, everything, apparently." Um, and what is it, like, Laurel has some device that Cisco made that's able to, like, duplicate Martian Manhunter's ability to give people knowledge of give people knowledge of what happened before Crisis or whatever, 'cause, like, the whole thing with Crisis is, like, there's certain characters who are, like, I guess, super important, they're called paragons or whatever, and they're the only ones who remember, so Martian Manhunter was one, and he was able to, like,
That sounds
he
like
was
the dumbest thing I've ever heard. That
that
really
was the
does.
kid.
What you just said sounds like the dumbest thing I've ever
I mean,
heard.
the Martian Manhunter thing wasn't a huge stretch because, like, yeah, he has mental powers. He can be like, "Hey, this is here's all the knowledge of how, this universe isn't really, here's all what happened." I can understand that, but Cisco, like, recreating that, like, that's kinda weird. I don't know. It's weird. But then again, Cisco is just, "Oh, we have a problem. Let's build." Cisco's gonna build something to solve it. It's either, "Oh, the Flash is gonna run faster," or, "Oh, Cisco's gonna build something." That's, like, the way they get around everything in the Flash.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna watch this show if this actually does become a show, just because I don't like Laurel Lance. I don't like. Well, I'm indifferent to Dinah.
Hmm.
Like, I don't like her, but I don't hate her. And yeah, it was not good, and it was very weird. And then the series finale, not season finale, series finale of Arrow, involves, like, Oliver Queen's funeral. It's all wrapped around that and stuff like that. 'Cause, spoilers, he dies in Crisis.
Right.
But, I think a lot of people knew that because
A lot of people knew that going into Crisis.
yeah. But, so it all revolves around that, and it's like, "Oh, Dinah's talking to it's I guess this happens before, I guess? 'Cause and Dinah's like, "Oh, Mayor Lance is promoting me to commissioner or some weird role or some high up role, and all this." And I'm like, "Wait, you said what? You said there was no record of you. Like, how?" I'm confused. Okay. Um, and it's like, "Oh, Detective Lance is back. Crisis brought him back. Oh, Crisis brought Moyer Queen back somehow." And they show, like, a scene where, like, it's Slade about to kill him, but Oliver, like, ends up breaking free and saving her or whatever. I guess that time changed, or I I don't know. It's confusing because in, like,
Sounds like they don't want you to think too hard about anything that they're doing
in some of
because
the other
it doesn't
shows
make any sense.
like Batwoman, which Batwoman's really good, by the way. Um, they're like, "Oh, well, all the universes combined into one," or, whatever, because that's how they explain Supergirl's on the same universe as Flash now.
Hmm.
And oh, some random people ended up, you know, random people ended from other universes ended up in this one. So now there's, an extra, extra character, So now there's two versions of this one character in Batwoman. And it's like, okay, that's I could see how like, oh, somehow other universes of this character got mashed up into here. But I don't know. They could have since it was the series finale. I wish they would have really like put some more thought into it. But the cool thing is that whole Moira him saving his mom scene from Slade. That's
Mm.
actually a take they did back in season 2 when they killed Moira Queen. That
Oh,
wasn't a
that is
retake.
cool.
I saw an interview or I saw an article about that. Yeah, that's an actor because the producer, Greg Berlanti, like the dude who's in who created the Arrow universe. He was like, apparently he like went through the archive footage and stuff and found that and was like, we need this for that. So I thought that was really cool. Like the fact that that was
That
actually like season 2
that is
footage
cool. That is cool.
that they that that it's I guess wasn't released in like DVD extras even. So yeah, there's cool
It's like
stuff
they
like
knew.
that they did not know. They definitely did not know. But there's a lot of cameos and a lot of people who are like, "Hey, I'm back. Oh, hey, look, it's Ragman. Ragman's back. Remember him?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit, that's Ragman." Wait, what? I like Ragman. He was my favorite out of the new team members, and he was the only one who left, and I was upset about that. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff in that series finale. A lot of like, oh, Oliver this, Oliver that. He and then I don't want to spoil much, but have you seen any news on this in around this series finale?
Mm-mm, no.
Because there's one big thing that happened at the end that might have seen news about.
He might be the Spectre because I heard
Oh no,
that rumor.
that was like confirmed, like in
Okay.
Crisis. Yeah, spoilers on that, but no, I don't know if I want to spoil the like last scene of the series finale for you or not, but it's
I
something
don't
we
care.
talked about a long time ago.
Oh, is it okay? I'm looking at the image, and I'm gonna send it to you. And is it that right there?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we talked about this a long, like years ago. We had a theory on this. Diggle gets a Green Lantern ring, and then they teased it with last year's crossover. I think it
I say
was.
I thought they teased it a while back because like another universe
Yeah, it was
person
the
called him
TV
Green
show.
Lantern or something.
It was the 90s Barry Allen Flash,
Okay.
like it was him
Yeah.
who came through a portal and
Jay Garrick.
was like, "Hey." No, no, it was the 90s, like not the actor playing Jay Garrick, but it was it was the same actor who plays Jay Garrick, but it was him
Okay.
playing his 90s role, Barry
Okay.
Allen. It's all confusing, yes, I know. But yeah, it was like the actual TV show from the 90s, Barry Allen. He was like, "Oh, John, you don't have your ring." And she's like, and Diggle was like, "Wait, what?" And yeah, that was the kind of reference to that. But anyways, it it was good. for the most part, I enjoyed it. It was a nice wrap up. There was a nice Felicity Oliver ending moment thing. But it, it's hard to believe it's over. I know. For a long time, that was like my favorite show to watch. I still say what season 2 is like. God, season 2 was so good. The season with Slade,
Mm.
so good. But yeah, there was a lot of some wrap ups, and like I said, a lot of like, oh, the funeral scene had a lot of people come back. Like almost everybody you could think of came back. I was like, is they're not gonna have Slade come back to like pay his respects or whatever? And I'm like, oh wait, no, that would be kind of that that would be kind of weird considering that he like tried to kill Mora, and she's alive now or whatever. And oh, what was it? Yeah. So yeah, they had her back. They had um the guy who plays Tommy back because I guess he survived somehow or is back.
Okay.
And I guess apparently he married Laurel, like their universe's Laurel. So there was the weird scene with Earth 2's Laurel and him, and so, yeah, they brought like everybody back. Like this was, the crisis converging into one was like their kind of way to, I don't know, bring everybody back so they could pay respects to Oliver. And the weird thing is they had a there was someone who kidnapped William, his son.
Hmm.
Um, and it was like the first dude it was the first dude he like let live. Like he was crossing off his list, and like there was
Hmm.
the point where it's like, oh no, he he's talking to Diggle, like, and then he lets loose. Oh no, I he's gonna be arraigned the next day or whatever. And they kind of showed flashbacks to that and stuff like that. And like apparently the dude who it was weird. It's like he like you kidnap his son, and but he let you live when he was killing everybody else. Like what? It was a little all over the place, but it was in the end it was all right. I I think they could have handled some stuff better, but it was still there was a lot of heartwarming moments, and the final couple scenes were really nice. The Diggle finding that, and then the Oliver Felicity scene where they're like, I guess they're in the afterworld or afterlife or something. I don't know. It was very weird because like the Monitor, like in 2040, the Monitor takes Felicity, like, oh, are you ready? And takes him to see Oliver, and it was kind of it was very vague and weird, but yeah, there was the ending with them. So, but yeah, that's it. I guess what else you got?
Okay. Um. Okay. For me, sticking with the um isekai stuff, um, I watched one. High school prodigies have it easy in even in another world.
This is on my watch list, like my list of stuff. So I'm curious what you think of it.
I liked it. It was good. The premise is, if you can't tell, um, seven high school prodigies. Which, if you don't think too much into how they're prodigies, they're fine. Um, are like they're involved in a plane crash, and the plane crashed in another world, of course. And like one is like they call him the world's greatest blank, and like a lot of this is like it doesn't even make sense on how a high schooler can be the best of the like one of them is the world's greatest politician. That doesn't make any sense to me. But okay. One's the world's greatest doctor. Again, the fuck? That doesn't make sense. One is the world's greatest journalist. All right. The world's greatest magician. Okay, that one, okay, it's a little bit more believable. The world's greatest inventor. All right. World's greatest samurai. Okay. World's greatest entrepreneur. All right. Cool. They all crash in this other world, and they did, because it's what people do, decide to make this world like our old world and try to get back to, and in process try to get back to our old world. So, and of course, they've got knowledge of stuff that people in this world don't. So they can we're going to create a market of something that we're going to introduce something that people are really going to love, and we're going to sell it and make a ton of money. This is the entrepreneur guy, of course. What would you, just thinking of any kind of, okay, it's food. I'll give you, it's food. What kind of food
I would imagine
do you think they would introduce to this world that people would just fall in love with and would sell by the barrel full? Like, just, it's something that can go in a jar. Also, give you that one.
Go in a jar. I don't know. You say jar, and the only things I think of with jar is like either jam or like pasta sauce. Those are the things I associate with jars. I know it's
All
not
right.
pasta sauce.
No, it is not pasta sauce. Although I wouldn't. And this is like, it's mayonnaise.
Ew.
That's why I was like,
Okay.
why fucking mayonnaise? That's fucking gross. I hate mayonnaise.
I mean, as far as cooking goes, mayonnaise is like pretty good for lots of different recipes.
They
that
put
you
it on
don't
fucking
ever
everything.
taste.
Like, they put it
As
on
far as like putting it
everything.
on something, but like using it as a recipe where you don't ever taste the mayonnaise, sure.
And there's this one little girl character, like, she just sticks her hand in the jar of mayonnaise and just eats it. I'm like,
is mayonnaise big in Japan?
I don't know. I don't think so. But like, one of the very last scenes, it shows her putting, squirting out mayonnaise onto her baked potato. He's like, the best way to, or the best thing to put on mayonnaise is more mayonnaise. I'm like, oh God, no. But
yeah, I'm not a big mayo fan.
I hate mayonnaise, so it was absolutely gross to me. I'm like, they could have picked something else. I wish they would have picked something else other than mayonnaise.
Ketchup. Come on now, ketchup. Like, I can see ketchup being the, like, oh my God, ketchup.
Sure, I'll go with ketchup.
People
even
love
though
ketchup.
I'm not a big ketchup person either, but still, that I'll easily eat ketchup.
Yeah, I'll have ketchup on some stuff, but like, there are people who are obsessed with ketchup. Like,
Sure.
so I get that. So I get that, but like, are there people obsessed with mayo? Like, I hear more about people hating mayo than actually being actually loving it. Like,
yes, I definitely hear more people talk about how mayo is disgusting than people loving it. Yeah. But yeah, it's very good.
okay.
It just so happens that, like, I was watching it, and there's only 12 episodes, and I got to episode 11, and it stopped. Like there were no more episodes. What? Hold on. Why is there no more? I can see there's supposed to be 12. This came out last year. Oh, the last episode of the dub comes out tomorrow. Okay.
Oh, that sucks.
So I'm like, okay, I gotta wait till tomorrow to watch that. And
Like
it,
tomorrow,
it
tomorrow, or tomorrow,
no, no, no.
like when you were watching it?
Tomorrow, as in the day I was watching it. So
Okay,
they're all
okay.
out now. But it just so happens that I started watching it and caught up to it. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize that it came out so recently. But it literally ended on a cliffhanger. Like it was literally the words, "Oh my god, it's dun 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 next time." Like, well, you can't end a season like that. Like that's not a way to end a season. You can't do that. Also, by that point in time, it was like, well, the only person we know this person could have been is this guy. Okay, that the only other person we know is this person. So you can't cause suspense. But yeah, it's
Okay.
good. Uh, I definitely enjoyed it. Also, the ninja character, or I say ninja, the journalist is a ninja as well.
Okay.
And like there are times she does the full on Super Mario World cape thing. Like she's got like a sheet kind of tied to her feet, holding it kind of as a glider, and she totally does the bounce that from Super Mario World. The wow 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 as she goes along over the city. So,
Okay.
but anyway, it's good.
I'll continue that trend. I've been watching anime.
Mm.
Was it Isekai Cheat Magician?
Okay, I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think I told you about it.
Did you?
Yeah, I think I did.
Huh, I don't remember that. But this is one that's been on my like watch list for a while, anyways. Like for a little bit, anyways. And it's good. I like it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was another one where I was like reading the description, and I'm trying to like think, have I watched this yet? Because like the reading these descriptions, it's like, oh, high schooler, and they were is just ordinary morning, and suddenly a glowing light envelops them, and they're transported to a fantasy world full of magic. Like it's like, okay, that could be like so many different animes that I've
Right?
watched.
Yeah. It's all of them. Yes.
Yeah. So, but yeah, they get teleported, or like I guess it's only Taichi who's like
Yeah. One is getting
targeted,
teleported, and the other one kind of um
is there.
Star Trek Force jumps on him and grabs him as he's
Well,
being teleported
originally,
away.
she's in the circle, and he pushes her out, and then she jumps.
Right.
So like, yeah, but and then they get teleported, and oh, it's a fantasy world with magic, and then they're like, oh, I guess we got to adapt, so I guess they come across some adventurers, and they're like, I guess we could become adventurers, and I'm like, well, that's kind of
Again,
ballsy.
this is a very generic one. Like I'll give you this. This is a very generic isekai.
It starts out generic, but then well, there's some stuff to it, but it's also the like, oh, the main character, he's kind of a slacker, and if he actually applied himself,
Right.
you know, and that
And
translates
also
to,
he has this rare power.
yeah, that translates to his magic ability. Like they're like, oh my god, you have the power to take over the entire world if you wanted.
Right.
It's like your power is 125,000, whatever, 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 and they're like, oh, but yours. Then they're talking about Rin, the female. Yours is like 25,000 or 35,000, and hers is impressive, but his is just like, oh my god.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. His is like godlike. She's like really fucking good though, because like she can use all forms of magic when normally people can only use like one or two. And
Yeah.
also, it reminded me a lot of well, I watched it afterwards, but um oh, something grandson.
Oh, wise man's grandchild.
Wise man's grandchild.
Yeah.
It like she uses her knowledge of like physics
Of the real world science and stuff. Yeah.
to
That's what I loved about Wise
make
Man's Grandchild.
her power better or greater. And like
Yeah, like in Wise Man's
I watched
Grandchild, he
this
was using
before
gravity.
I watched this before I watched Wise Man's Grandchild. So like,
Yeah. I did the opposite. But yeah. But yeah, that's the thing I like, is like, oh, of course a fantasy world, they're not gonna know what gravity is or,
well,
atoms
like they
or
don't need
stuff
to
like
because
that.
like they've got magic. So like, why need to know how fire works? That it's magic. It does. It works.
And to the point where she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna picture a gas fire," and it's like, "Oh, the fire's blue. I've never seen fire blue before."
Right.
And
And
stuff like
she
that.
can use earth magic. So throw a little dust in there and kaboom, makes a big explosion that
Yeah,
that
it's pretty
nobody ever
cool stuff.
thought of using a a dust explosion.
Yeah, because it's science, and
Right.
our world is all about science. So simple stuff that we take for granted. Other world, fantasy world would be like, "Oh my god, that's some form of magic that we don't know about."
I mean,
Like,
isn't that what Thor says?
kinda, yeah, but
It's just science that you don't understand.
yeah, that's
So to
true.
you, it's magic.
But yeah, it was good. It was, I man, they like introduce a character, and they like introduce a character and to like redeem her or whatever, and then they kill her off
And
like
then kill
pretty
her
quickly, and
off.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I like that character.
Yeah, I was like, I would even like
No,
that character. And then, nope, she's dead. Like, oh, fuck.
it's like, damn, that's wow. Which, yeah, this anime, it has no problems with killing characters,
No.
which I don't mind. Like so I do find it, it's like, oh, some of the animes where it's like, oh, I've defeated you, and it's like, well, they're just gonna come back and you know just gonna like pull a Frieza, come back
Right.
eventually and try to. So sometimes you gotta kill, I guess. I don't know, but so yeah, that was a pretty good anime. I enjoyed it. It was another uh, it wrapped up in December. At least the dub did.
Hmm.
So still too early to know if they're gonna make a second season, I guess, but
Yeah.
it's wide open for more
Yeah, absolutely.
because they got this mysterious like lady who's like controlling everything,
Yeah. Yeah, it was. And
pulling the
this
strings.
also happened in the high school prodigies one that I watched. Is like some of like the last scenes, like it shows characters like, oh, like kind of watching over things, like like they know something, and you know looming in the distance, kind of a thing, kind of hinting at a bigger plot. And then that's when the series ends. It's like, oh, okay. But it's really for shows like these though, it's more of a, hey, if you want to know more, buy the source material. which you can buy here.
Yeah, and this one also had like bad guy characters who aren't necessarily evil bad guys.
Yeah,
Like the one dude who like ends
they
up
were
losing his
manipulated
arm.
by
Yeah,
the bigger bad.
and the one chick, forget what her name is. Uh, starts with a G, I think.
I
Grammy.
don't remember names.
I think it's Grammy, something like that. But um, yeah. So like, and it's like the like at the end of the anime, they show like, oh, after the war or whatever, everything's happy, and it shows those two like in a pub or whatever, drinking, all happy, and it's like, well, okay, so you're portraying them not to be evil, like, it's weird. It's weird, like because they were doing evil stuff, they were doing bad stuff, but it's like I guess they're not evil at heart.
Sure.
It was a little weird, but so yeah, and apparently, like the way they were teleported there is a one way thing, or only can be used once,
Right.
or at least by one person can only be used once. I don't know. So yeah, that's it's a good anime. So what else you got?
What else do I got? Um, see the rest of my stuff. Oh, okay. I got one more. Um, that's not currently airing stuff.
Okay,
Um, Grimoire of Zero. This one is not in the isekai. So, um, this one takes place in a fantasy world, where there are witches and there are these beast men that are humans that witches have cursed into having like animal, um like they look like animals kind of a thing,
okay,
like the main character is like he's like part like white tiger, and they're kind of shunned by humans because they're associated with witches, and witches are just outright hunted. And Zero is one of the main characters. She's a witch where like she grew up in a cave, and it was like a cave filled with like a bunch of other witches that their whole purpose was to basically study magic. Like that's all they did there was study magic. You know, leave the outside world alone. We're here to focus on magic itself. So like they became like a lot more powerful than like the witches outside. And like she wrote this grimoire that basically allowed other people to use magic a lot more easily. And like normal people, like normal humans that aren't even witches could use magic. And like that book got
okay,
out into the world, and so like this could destroy the world. So I've got to go find my book.
gotcha.
Um, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. Um, definitely it ends with a there could be more. There's it, you know, so yeah. I'm trying to think of like it'd be because she grew up in a cave. Um, like food is like kind of like delicious food is like new to her. So like she kind of freaks out a little bit over food.
Okay,
Um, eh,
I think
yeah,
this has been on like my list of stuff that like
Yeah,
I've been
this
meaning to
one's
get
been out a while.
for a while. Yeah.
I'm trying to look
Got
it
a
up, see
lot
what
of
came out.
animes that I have on a list, but that are only like one season long that I'm like, I'm gonna try to find something that's a little more than just one season first, and then
I
I'll
Yeah,
tackle
I get
back
it.
to.
See, this one came out in spring of 17. So yeah,
Because you can
this one's
binge anime
been
so
out.
quickly. Like
Yeah,
it's just you can watch a whole season of an anime in like one night. 'Cause it's like what 20 episode or 20 minutes an episode,
right. So like 12 episodes, like it's about 5 hours,
and you skip the intro and outros.
right?
That's some chunk there. So yeah, like I hate that feeling of finishing an anime and being like, is there gonna be more?
Right, which I was look up immediately. Like, is
Yeah.
it, just name of anime season 2, and
And
sometimes
you
there's
just
a
type
yes, sometimes
you just you
there's
just start
just
to type the name
articles
of the
about
anime and auto searches season 2.
yes,
Or-
because you're not alone on is there going to be a season 2.
yeah.
And I always come up with like uh anime season 2, everything we know so far, or season
Is
2
there a
release
site
date is unknown. Like, what the
dedicated?
fuck?
I think there's a
I think
site
there are a couple.
dedicated to
There are a
like
couple I've definitely come across. Oh, looks like there is going to be a season 2, maybe, of this one. Yeah, April. Hey, all right. So there's going to be a season 2 in April.
I can't think of the site, but I know I came across a site where it's like, you can search the anime and it'll give you like news based on that anime, like, oh, this has been announced or nothing's been announced yet, or
Yeah,
it,
I've also
I
come across that site.
can't think of the name. Damn it. Oh well. Yeah, that
So
definitely will check this out then under your recommendation.
yeah, like I said, this one is getting a season 2 next season.
So spring?
Spring, spring.
Okay. It's cool. Alrighty, so I got another anime. I haven't finished this one, but I started it. It's called
Okay.
To the Abandoned Sacred Beast. And this one has to do with like humans and beasts, kinda. Where it's like
The way
it starts off
you
with
say
like
that makes it sound unsavory.
well, no,
They
it
do
starts
it.
off with like a war, like a battlefield's going on and stuff like that, and like it shows this one guy who's like scared to death and cowering, and then this like obviously this troop of like specialty people who you're not quite sure are they magical or they what but they're like in special uniforms and stuff like that, like oh this is the unit, like the specialty unit, and they come in and they start to like tear up start to win the battle and stuff like that, and it turns out they're like they can turn into like creatures and stuff like that, and they like I don't think it's like fully explained how, but it's like they're special people who are able to do this, and they're also being like kind of like tested on or whatever, there's and it gets to the point where like one of them ends up going losing control and attacking like their own people and stuff like that, and they have to um like the regular military people like fire cannons at him and knocks him back to his like human form, and he realizes that, oh, I can't control myself, and he ends up like killing himself. And it's like, oh shit, this shit's dark. And then like the like lady who like the scientist who's like I don't know if she's experimenting on them or monitoring them or what, but like she's like, oh, we can't, like, this is gonna happen to everybody. Everybody part of who's part of this, we need to stop this. And she like shoots shoots this shoots, I guess, her lover or whatever, the person she's like was, romantically involved with. And then she's talking to another person like, we need to use these guns to kill the rest of them and then kill ourselves because we won't be able to control ourselves. And the other dude's like, I'm not doing that, and shoots the chick. And then it's like, you know flashes forward to the first guy who got shot, didn't actually die. He was like the captain of the platoon. And um I get the chick actually did die. And it it's pretty much like the captain is now like roaming the lands, finding all the people part of his, unit, and putting them down because they're not, they're starting to lose control of themselves. They're starting to let the beasts side of them or whatever take over. And some of them are like really nice people too. Like there was one who was a father, and a father of like 5 or whatever, and he ended up coming back as a dragon. Like I guess his ability was to turn to a dragon and he wasn't able to turn back, so like it got dangerous to where the rest of the town sent off the little kids, to and the like he had an older daughter, and she ends up witnessing the captain of of that group killing her father. So she is on a mission to search and finds him, and then realizes, hey, this is all in like 4 episodes, I think. So
So a lot happens in four. Okay,
yeah, I've only watched like 4 episodes, I want to say 4 or 5. So he's come across, I think, like one. I want to say he's come across only two people, the father and then this other character. So it looks pretty good. Like it's very serious. Not a lot, not really any comedy, any jokes or anything like that that I've come across. It's a very serious like anime. So but yeah, it's all right. It's was it this aired last year, so it's a fairly newer one too. So yeah, that's all the anime I've got, I think, besides a couple that are, like running right now.
all right.
But yeah.
Well, one that I know you watched that I've also watched is Plunder.
Oh yeah. I have not seen the latest episode.
The
The
latest
one
one,
that
I
just came
think
out.
that like the latest one actually, it seems like this is now when it's going to finally kick off.
Okay, that's good. I was hoping that.
No. But the premise of this one is everybody in the world has these numbers on them that represent something like in their life, and when that number can increase and decrease based off something about them, and when it gets to 0, these hands come out of the ground and pull them into the ground, and so they die basically, or we assume.
Unless they
And
have this special item.
yes, that has numbers on
But
it.
But I don't get
and
that because
it's
the
illegal to
mom
pull.
had that item, but she was
Ye-
still taken. That's what I don't get.
I,
Because she had the item and she was being taken, and then she gave it to her daughter while she was being taken. So that's the thing that kind of confuses me a little.
yeah, but it's I don't know. I kind of got the impression that she was holding it for somebody else. Like she wasn't like it wasn't hers. She was holding it for somebody else.
I guess, but I don't know. They talk about like if as long as you have it.
And these items are called ballots. And the number on the ballot is something else. Is related to something else. Because there's one character that she's got a number that every time somebody compliments her cooking, it increases. Or if somebody doesn't says her cooking was awful, it decreases. Which then, why go in the cooking industry? I don't know. Why do that then? I would avoid cooking at all. That's
I
just be
mean, but
me.
but also like you have there's the laws behind these numbers. Like so, if you have a low number, people can with higher numbers can tell you what to do. So that's the thing too. You always want to increase your number so you're not victim to.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So that's the thing. You just you got to be you better hope you can be a good cook.
Yeah, I guess that's true. And like I don't know if she's the main character anymore because she's shown so little in the past couple episodes. Um,
She's a supporting character.
like she her number is based on the number of miles she walked. So how like hers is like that one seems like the best because
For
you can't
kilometers, right?
right like because
It's
like that number can't go
epic.
down on its own. You cannot not walk that many
Yeah.
miles or kilometers. There is a way that number can go down, but through some like a duel, and that's it. It's like that's the only way that number could go down.
Maybe if you've gone so much time without walking, maybe it goes down.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That's not explained. That's not explained at all.
It does seem like a really good one to have. Like she was lucky to
Yeah,
have that one. Because
yeah.
mine would be high as hell. Because I walk a lot.
I've walked a lot in the past couple years, definitely.
Because you were talking about your like Google whatever thing that Google Maps told you how much you walked and stuff like that. And I looked at mine and I'm like, oh boy, that's a lot.
Yeah. Um,
My
but like
2019 activity was 185 miles walked. That's a lot of miles.
but the main character in this one, and I can definitely see why the main character could be a turnoff for some people, and because
At
uh,
first, yeah.
yeah, he's this pervert, is his giant pervert. Like, and I told you, like he's basically he's Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins. He's the exact same character. Like
Yeah, and
he's
it's similar to
all
like
about rubbing up against girls, except when it comes to fighting, he's amazing at it, and he gets all serious and all that. He basically he's the same guy, and
yeah, it's a lot of other animes are similar where it's like, oh, this character's goofy or off-putting at first, but then once you start to get into the story, you start to see he's not quite
yeah,
what he
but
seems to like
yeah,
Asta from Black Clover.
he's just annoying 90%, 99% of the time.
I,
It's
I don't
it's
know.
only when he shuts his mouth when he's cool.
I think he's gotten a lot better, but
He's definitely better than he was at the beginning, but still. But but yeah, and the main character, his number is actually in the negative. So, um, so that's kind of obvious. He's got an illegal ballot. So,
That's really high.
yeah, you should watch the next episode.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting then.
Um, but I don't think it's definitely, I understand why people wouldn't like it, but I think it's all right.
It's definitely an interesting, premise, and it's one of those where I'm sure like the more episodes you get into the story, you're gonna get past like, oh, his pervertedness. You're gonna actually start to see character development of him and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, and you know.
I actually I hope that the two characters that we've kind of been with the past two episodes, I hope they stick around. Like they're cops, and I kind of hope they stick around because I like them. Like
Oh, they're
that
in this latest episode. Okay, I liked him.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because he's still in that village.
yeah. The whole date thing was pretty funny.
It was funny, and like the interaction between those two is funny.
And the other guy was like, "Yeah, his number's negative, so of course he has an illegal ballot. I was just letting this happen because it was entertaining,
It
you
was
know."
fun, yeah, yeah.
Was it in hers? The female cop, hers is like every time she helps somebody, her number
Right,
goes up.
which obviously she'd be a cop then.
But when she disappoints somebody, it goes down, right?
Yeah, but we've never seen it go down, so only seen it go
Didn't it
up.
start to go? Didn't it start to go down when like during the date thing when like he was upset and she had?
Maybe it did go
Thought,
down once.
I thought it did.
Maybe it did go down once.
But yeah,
But
it's interesting.
I'm gonna continue watching this one. So
Yeah.
okay. What about you? What else have?
Let's see. Which one's currently running? My Hero.
Oh, okay. I'm not fully caught up on this season.
It's been getting pretty good. There's some real interesting stuff. Like there's a interesting thing that happened with Deku and him fighting. Um, yeah, I wish you were caught up because it was I think that was the last episode. Something really cool happened, and was a major character died.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, not like a major, not like a main character in the story per se, but like a main, like a important character in the world. I guess, kinda. It's hard to explain without spoiling anything, but yeah, it was a character death, and boy, it was interesting. There's, man, you got to
It,
get caught up because there's some
the
really
la-
cool stuff this
the
episode.
the last episode that I saw was it was a meeting between like a bunch of heroes about the big bad of this season, and like catching up like what Deku and um smiley face dude
A
Pit Boy,
million, a million.
yeah, yeah, what they what they encountered with the little girl and that asshole who was sitting next to them, just saying, well, if I was there, I would have saved her. You guys should have saved her. Like, you fucker, you weren't there.
Yeah, they're getting prepared to storm their base, right?
It was that meeting, um,
Yeah.
getting everybody, all the other heroes in the city kind of brought up to speed,
They've
about like
stormed the
what's been
base.
happening with like the different groups of the characters, just bringing them all together and you know, that was the last
Yeah.
episode that I saw.
Gotcha. The next couple episodes really ramp up. There's a lot that happens. Like a lot. There's some really cool stuff with was it Fat Gum or Fat is it that's
Hmm.
his name?
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. There's some really cool shit with him that I was not expecting. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Which is
Um,
weird cuz like that's the voice of adult Gohan. So every time I hear that, I'm just like, "Oh, that's a little."
I will say this: that episode with Red Riot, like that, I was like, he's actually pretty fucking cool.
That's the one
It
who
was it.
gets he has the rock skin who can get harder, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
but and
there's more
and
stuff
that's
with
like the
him.
first time we've like really like heard that name though, and I can't remember his real name. So Red Riot,
Yeah, there's more
hardening
stuff with
dude.
him. His stuff is with Fat Gum.
Yes, yes, and
Yeah,
that's
like
what made me think of Red Riot. Like he's really fucking
I mean,
cool.
the new stuff is with him and Fat Gum too. Like
Okay,
the cool Fat Gum stuff. He's Red Riot's there. There's
yeah,
some
because
cool stuff. Like yeah, man.
he's his intern. So
Yeah, there's some really cool like the last two episodes have been really good. Like you need to get on that. And
yeah,
I'm
I'm
kind of
maybe like
upset.
4 or 5 episodes behind. So
Really? Has there been that many since they had that meeting? Oh wow. Like,
I
okay.
mean,
But
let me look it up then.
I guess that is true, yeah. Now I think of it, I did save up save up a bunch and then binge them recently. But yeah, the last couple episodes have been really good, and like I said, the stuff with Fat Gum was really cool and interesting. Like, and then the last episode, the Deku did some really cool stuff with another character, and it's I don't want to spoil anything, but it's so good. Like, and I've heard on that the fan service podcast, the Rooster Teeth anime podcast, they were talking about like based on the manga, this stuff is oh this is where it's really getting good, and based on the
Like
manga,
this is where the manga really kicks off. I'm like, oh really? It's been
yeah, and
like
it
this show has
does
been kicking
it.
off since. So
No, man, you're in for it, Stuart. Like s- the next bunch of episodes are so good. Like, man, it's so good. There's so, like I said, major character dies or um or important character, whatever. Really cool character moments for characters you would not really like think. Like I wouldn't, I did not expect Fat Gum to have a really cool character moment, because you think the show's mostly about the kids, but no, they're
right,
focusing stuff on the actual adult superheroes. Even though the regular super adult superheroes, they're starting to realize these kids are a lot more a lot more powerful than we think they are at first. Like they're starting to realize, man, this is some interesting stuff. But
I'm
yeah,
9 episodes behind. Fuck.
wow, there's been that many. Wow, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty good. So you got some binging to do.
Yeah, I do. I didn't realize I was that far. I was like, I'm only 4 or 5. Now I'm fucking
Wait,
9. Oh
so
damn.
you're more caught up on Black Clover than you are in My Hero?
Yeah,
Wow, I'm
yeah, because
shocked.
I'm fully caught up on Black Clover.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised there. Okay. Yeah, that's My Hero. It's pretty good.
Oh, maybe I didn't see last week's episode of Black Clover. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Okay. So I might be an episode behind on Black Clover.
What was
Um,
last week's episode? I know there's the demon dude.
yeah, and that was kind
He
of like
appeared.
it's like them, and we've talked about that. So we've had an episode of Geeks since then. So I'm like, maybe I'm an episode behind on that one.
Yeah. Okay. I won't say anything on that.
Um, okay, another show I've been watching is called Bofuri. Bofuri. Uh, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense.
Oh, this is a new one that is airing, right?
Yes, yes. The
Yeah,
my next two are currently airing shows.
yeah. This is on my like watch list. Once there's some more episodes, then
Yeah, you're definitely like this is one I'm like I want to fucking watch more of this one. This
yeah,
it's a binge one.
that's the thing.
Um
Current William is suffering, so future William will be happy.
yes. Um and kind of like just like the title implies. This one it takes place in kind of the near future. It's it doesn't really say. I guess I don't remember. But like full dive MMO VR. Yeah, MMO VR RPG whatever. Um, and the character decided was like she's making her new this she's not really a gamer, so she doesn't know kind of the ins and outs of like stats and stuff. So like she kind of like, well, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm just gonna put everything into defense. So like she puts all of her points into defense, like every single one of them.
Okay.
So she's like really freaking slow. Like her like she's just like her walk speed is like half of normal people's walk speed. Um, and like her class is like a great shield. So she has a giant shield. Um, and like she finds out she can like because of her unusually high stats, she doesn't get hurt by anything really. And like it's kind of one of those things like one of the games like the more you get poisoned or whatever, the more resistance you build up to poison. So like she ends up like just putting herself in the middle of poison and like popping health potions so she can end up just being fully immune to poison completely. And like she finds out that she can also like eat monsters and like gain some abilities from them. So even though she's like maybe mid level, she's like in like the 20s, like high level characters cannot defeat her. So it's pretty good.
Okay, that's
Um,
interesting.
but yeah, I've only watched 2 episodes, so I I may stop and hold off now. So like this is definitely one I'm like I want to watch the next episode now.
Yeah, the premise kind of sounds similar in or no, similar and somewhat to like, was it like the overcautious hero or whatever?
In a way, but it's different than that
But
one.
different enough. Yeah.
Yeah,
That one, I don't know. I
because that
maybe
one was an isekai, and I never did really
yeah,
watch that one. I
that's
only
true.
watched like the first 2 episodes maybe of that one.
Yeah, that was the same with me. And I'll go back to it eventually, maybe.
Yeah, because that one looked funny. So,
Okay,
but yeah, definitely this one's a you want to wait and binge this one.
gotcha. Okay, I could talk about one that I just started. I watched one episode of.
Okay.
Um, See, I could talk about it, but that would get you real excited. But I've only watched one episode. So I'm gonna let you decide whether I should wait till I've watched more, or if you want
You
to talk
can't
about.
you can't dangle that in front of me.
uh, I've watched the first episode of the Saga of Tanya the Evil.
I was hoping you'd say that.
That's why I said like it's gonna get you excited, but I've only watched one episode. I started it
Yeah.
last night and I just haven't had a chance to watch any today. Like, but
Yeah,
it's
if I remember
weird.
right, the first episode starts out like to show you like she was a fucking badass. Like the second episode is when it shows how she got there.
When the
Like
first episode
like the
also ends with like the fact that she's an evil person, or at least it
yeah,
implies she's,
but
because
no,
the one
like
dude's talking about her about like, oh, she's the devil, and then she's like smiling when the other girl is like, did you know they were gonna die in the pillbox or.
yeah, but like this is an isekai. It's the next episode you find out how
Oh,
like yeah.
okay. Because it doesn't come across that. I remember you saying this is an isekai, and then I'm watching the first episode, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay, is this?" He must have said a different anime than this, like, because the first one
Mm-mm.
does not let make you think this is an isekai at
No,
all.
it's the next. You'll find out how.
Okay, that's interesting. I like that. Then it doesn't tell you straight up. Okay,
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Mm.
so yeah, you got 2 weeks to wait. I warned you.
Yeah.
I warned you. But
I, I can watch it again.
and you probably will. Uh,
Be
but
like
okay,
the
I'm
fourth
I'm
time
looking
I've watched it.
looking forward to watching more of it then. But yeah, this has been one on my list, but like I don't know, just the art style of it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
Some of the characters look kind of little weird. Like
Yeah. That one. Honestly, I'm blanking on her name, but like the character that says,
the one
did you
chick.
know?" Yeah,
Yeah,
she looks funny. Yeah.
she looks pretty weird. Yeah, and then there's like some parts where she doesn't look as weird, and then yeah, it's one that I like I said, I just started and, we'll definitely talk about this later, but give you that tease.
Did you ever continue watching Overlord? I know you started it, but I never heard
No, I
of
didn't.
you.
I forgot. I forgot to go back to that. Maybe I'll have that to talk about next week or next time as well.
Okay.
Put that on my list or my top of my list. Because there's a lot of that, right? There's a lot of episodes of
There's
Overlord.
three seasons of that one,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
and
So
I think there is going to be a fourth.
yeah, I saw something about that. Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Okay. What else you got?
Okay, my last one. Um, it is similar to to the other one. This one's called Infinite Dendrogram.
This is another one that I'm have on my list that I'm waiting. This is another full dive
Yeah,
MMO one, right?
this one is like you might want to wait for this one.
Yeah.
This one is another VR MMO RPG kind of thing. But this is one where like the game really is another world because like the NPCs in that world, like if they die in that world, then they die. They're dead. Like they don't respawn or anything. So like, you can overthrow the kingdom or whatever. Um, and um, like everybody starts out with this thing called an embryo, and kind of when it hatches or grows or whatever, it kind of becomes, I don't know, it's not really explained um really what it is, because like we've only seen like the main characters, and like his is like, well, they're like a guardian kind of a thing, like they help you fight, I guess. I don't know, again, not, it's kind of confusing. But like his, when it hatches or whatever, it comes out, it's an extremely rare one called the a maiden guardian, and like she can like transform into a giant sword, and like it's really powerful or whatever. So
Okay.
like he's like way more powerful than he should be at like level 1. Like he can defeat, like level 200 enemies, kind of a thing. Um, but I don't really, not a whole lot has happened really, except for like the guy jumps into the MMO. He's playing with his brother, and like when he on his way to like finding his brother, somebody bumps into him, and like she's looking for her little sister, and then runs off or whatever. It turns out that's a quest. Um, and because NPCs die in this world and they're dead, that kind of means something. Like, well, just a little girl, she could die. So, um, they go off and save her or whatever. Um,
You watching
and
this subbed?
No, I'm watching this dubbed.
Okay, because there are more subbed episodes than dubbed.
Yeah, that's why I've only watched 2 episodes.
Yeah, I was about to say there's only 2 dubs, so yeah, of course I
Yeah,
don't think a lot has happened, but I wasn't sure
yeah,
if
yeah.
like.
So like, not a whole lot
Mm.
has happened yet. So I'm like, I don't know. Um, but it's like the time in this world is different, and it kind of makes sense to me, because like this is a VR MMO, or a full whole dive MMO. So like your brain can process stuff faster than it can in right now. So like time in that world actually moves faster.
They touch on that. Yeah, that's they actually touch on that in Sword Art Online Alicization as well,
Okay.
which is one you need
So
to
like
watch. But
24 hours in the real world is like 72 in that world. So like, and when you die, you're actually force logged out, and you cannot log back in for 24 hours. So it's actually
okay,
72 in the game world. Um, but it's actually kind of funny, because like when because you're kind of you're disconnected from your body in this, you'll get notifications like, you are hungry, you need to urinate as well. So like you log out and go eat and pee, and then you come back, because you're disconnected from yourself. You don't feel this.
gotcha. So it's like hydration bot for
Yes,
Twitch.
yes, kinda.
That's an interesting thing I never thought about. Yeah.
It's cool, and it's like the premise of this game. And it's got an infinite amount of possibilities. Like anything can happen. That's why it's called infinite dendrogram.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, there's a lot of good sound or a lot of animes that I'm like, man, that's gonna be it's gonna be really cool to watch. But there's only 1 episode or 2 episodes out now. I gotta wait. I gotta wait. There's a lot of good animes for this season, at least that I've
Yeah,
been
I was
reading the
telling you
premise of.
couple weeks ago, like, you know, before I really started watching anything from this season, like nothing jumped out at me, and now I'm watching three from this season. I'm like, okay, it's not like there's nothing.
Yeah. See, it's I check Kissed Anime, like their latest whatever. I have that bookmark, and I just click that link every day, and it lets me know like what the new. It's just an easy way to see what new came out. What new episodes have
Mhm.
come out, and then I'm like, okay, so that's on Verve, right? So I can go to Verve and watch that one, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just an easier way to see what's new instead of having to go to like, oh, Verve, let's see what's new. Okay, Funimation, let's see what's new. It's just all listed there. So, but yeah, and I'm just like, oh wow, okay, there's that's out now, and that's out, and that's out. Okay, that's cool. But yeah, there's seems like a lot of good animes. So I'm looking forward to a couple weeks, when there's more episodes banked for some of these, actually giving it a watch. It's glad to know that some of the ones I'm interested in, you're enjoying.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
What I normally do, like, kind of before like each season of anime, I look on like my anime list and just see, like, because it's also sorted by like what's popular, or like what, like, more people are interested in this, so it's probably good, or it's going to be
gotcha.
good. So like, there's just a list of like you know what's going to be good this season. So it's kind of a good way. Oh yeah, I watched that one. I'm not gonna talk about
Okay. Okay.
that one. I watched the um brothel one.
Oh, the one where they review or like
Yeah,
Yelp or whatever. Yeah.
yeah. I'm not gonna talk about that one.
Okay.
You know what you're getting into when you go into it. It's like, it's an anime where they review brothels in a fantasy land. Yeah, that's all you gotta know.
Okay. And you said that's your last anime, or
Yeah, that's it for me.
okay? Yeah, I don't got any more animes.
Cool.
I've watched a couple movies. I guess
Okay.
one is one I didn't expect to be really all that great, but it was just it's kind of late at night. I don't really want to watch anything too like long or, you know, in depth, like so I found a stupid comedy, Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Oh, okay.
This movie, I mean, I laughed at some points, but there's some real like Kevin Smithy shit in this movie, like in a bad way. Like I mean, do you ever watch Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, like the first Jay and
Yeah,
Silent Bob movie? Yeah,
yeah.
like
It
the
wasn't really my kind of humor.
couple times where they're like, "Oh, who would ever want to watch a Jay and Silent Bob movie?" And then they all look at the camera, and
Uh,
then they go back. Like, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking stuff in this movie. That's just and it's like, "Oh, it's Jay and Silent Bob, and they're back, and they're having the movie studios are wanting to make a reboot of the previous movie that they tried to stop or whatever, they that came out and whatever." So it's like almost the same story, and then it's like, "Oh, here's Jay, actually he actually had a kid with, uh what's her name?
Anna Ellsworth.
The yeah, the love interest. I think her name was Justice in the whatever. But it's actually Kevin Smith's daughter who's playing. So that's kind of weird. Kevin Smith's daughter is playing Jay daughter in the movie.
Okay,
It's kind of weird.
that is weird.
And like there's points where they're going back, and it's like they're calling back to the previous movie quite a bit. And I mean, there's some fun stuff, but then there's some stuff that's just like they actually have like Kevin Smith is actually a character in the movie, but he also plays Silent Bob.
All right.
And they're like, "You look just like him." Like, or there's a point where like the one of the characters like, "Oh, you look just like him. Oh, let's make a plan to trap him and then have you impersonate him or whatever." And it's just like, "Oh my god, really?" And then there was a point where like was it Jay Jay and Silent Bob meet what is I think his name Ben Affleck's character in that universe that's not the angel, the one from like, the all the other movies, and the one from like Chasing Amy or whatever.
Okay.
And they have a big thing with him, and because like I guess he in the universe his character's like a comic book creator, and he's the one who created the comic based off of Blunt Man and Chronic. That's it, the reason why
Hmm.
they're making the movie and all that. And it's like, oh, here's his character, and oh, he has a daughter. He has a daughter with the chick from Chasing Amy, even though she's a lesbian, but they still wanted to. She wanted to have kids, so he was the. And it's like, okay, this is all kind of weird. Like you're just referencing everything. Like, and there's a point where like Matt Damon's like, "Hey, you remember me? I'm Loki before Tom Hiddleston was Loki," and blah blah blah. And it's just, wait, what? What? It's like you may have thought I died at the end, but you know, I really was just sent back to such and such place, and it's just like, what? Why are you trying to connect every single movie you've done? Like, it's just there was a funny movie. There was a funny part where like Ben Affleck was he was talking about something, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like Thomas Wayne or his mother. I don't remember her name, or Batman's mother. I don't remember her name."
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
I was like, "That's kind of funny." Uh, just because Martha, that whole disgusting thing.
Uh-huh.
But there's a lot of like this movie was. Ugh. I I I I sighed a lot more than I laughed. And I
Okay.
kind of expected that. Like I said, it was just it's a comedy. It's like I think it's like an hour and a half or an hour and 40 minutes, something short. Let's see how long it is. But yeah, I was just looking for stupid short movie. Yeah. Wow, it's hour 45. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so it's interesting. There was some funny moments, but then others were just like, "No, that's dumb." And then like trying to stop the movie, like I said, and it ends up they're at a Blunt Man and Chronic con at the end.
Okay.
So there's all these people dressed up like Jay and Silent Bob, and there's
All
of
right.
course there's all kinds of jokes where it's like, "Oh, hey, you everyone thinks that they're, like, dressed up as Jay and Silent Bob even though they
Well,
are Jay and
that's a good costume.
Oh, I forgot to mention at the beginning, they get busted by the cops for, uh for having for illegally growing marijuana and whatever, and some lawyer played by what's his name? Oh, oh, the dude from that. Uh, what's his name? I think it's Justin something. Mm,
Timberlake, Bieber,
no, no. Was he in that movie Waiting? Mm, Justin Long.
Long.
Okay, yeah, yeah, Justin Long. I was like, he was in Waiting, and then he was in that college movie, right, where he created his own college. Boy, that was a dumb movie. But yeah, Justin Long is like the lawyer or whatever, like representing them, and he's like, "Oh, sign these papers," and you know, they're like, "Oh, okay, sure," and then he does lawyer stuff, lawyer kung fu, and gets all the charges dropped, and then um and then it's like, okay, and then the judge is like, oh, next case, and then the lawyer walks over to the other side, and it's like, oh, okay, that's whatever, and it's like, oh, we have rights, here's rights to Jay and Silent Bob, and it's like they're now officially not able to use their own names or something like it. It was like dumb. It was dumb. But yeah, it's I, unfortunately, ever since Kevin Smith started smoking marijuana, like, his movies just are not good. Red State was alright, but
I can't think. I don't think I've really been a huge fan of like his movies.
I mean, I enjoyed I liked Clerks, I liked Mallrats, I liked Chasing Amy was good, what was the I mean, Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back was dumb, but, that's what you were expecting, you it was never anything you didn't think it was. But, and Dogma was good. I enjoyed Dogma. So, I mean, Clerks 2 was alright, but whatever. So, I mean, I've never been like, "Oh my god, these are the best movies ever," but I've enjoyed them, and I like the fact that they did have it was a connected, like, universe, because that was before way before, like, Marvel and stuff like that. So, it was like, "Oh, that's cool that," you know, the they're I think it's Holden McNear or whatever, something like that is the Ben Affleck's character. It's like, oh, that's cool. He was in Mallrats, and Silent Bob is the Jay and Silent Bob is the same character, and um Chasing Amy, and oh, here's Jay and Silent Bob and all these movies and stuff like that. But ever since he's started smoking marijuana, like, his movies are just not good. But yeah, so that's that. Don't need to
You
spend any more
actually
time on that.
remind me that I did watch a movie.
Okay, what you watch?
Six Underground on
Ooh,
Netflix.
that's on my to watch list. Like, I kind of want to watch it, but I've also been kind of like weary because like Netflix movies are hit or miss. It seems
It's
like.
well, this one's directed by Michael Bay,
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
and that's all I gotta say about that one. It's directed by Michael Bay. It's a Michael Bay fucking movie
with Ryan Reynolds.
with Ryan Reynolds.
Is he at least good in it?
Yes, he's good. He's
Okay.
it's set up in a way like there could be like nine more of these.
Oh God. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is one of those actors where it's like I'll pretty much watch whatever he's in.
Yeah, it's a it's set up like a heist movie. It's like
Okay.
Um, like there is, you got your hitman, you got your ex CIA, you got your driver, you got your parkour person, you got your sniper, you got your billionaire who is funding all of this stuff.
Gotcha. You got all the roles. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So like it's set up in like that, and I I don't know. It seems like a lot doesn't fucking happen in this movie except explosions, explosions, explosions.
Okay.
So um. Oh, and also a lot of a lot of stunts and people blowing up and bits flying at the camera and stuff like that. Um. Oh God, that scared the shit out of me.
Mhm.
Thank you for the sub. Um. Thai Thai Legend. 24. Thank you, and to the SWYW podcast. I'm using a Logitech C20 C9 or 922C, whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm using.
Yeah, I'm using the C920 regular. I think there's a pro version of it. But I just have the
That's
regular
that's the
C
22. That's the one that
C920.
I got.
Yeah. Which the pretty
But
good
yeah,
Logitech's
it's
webcams are pretty good.
yes.
So
I hate the fact that you
oh
have to adjust the settings every single fucking time you use it, but they're good for the most part.
yeah. Okay. So
But
it's a Michael
Six
Bay
Underground,
movie.
it's a Michael Bay movie. That's kind of all I gotta say about that. It's a Michael Bay action movie.
Good Michael Bay movie, or well, I guess since it's not an existing intellectual property, ruin.
It's not terrible. It's not, but I gotta say it's not like one like yeah like I forgot I even watched it until you brought like I watched the movie. I'm like, did I watch the movie too? Didn't I? What was it?
Is
Oh
it
yeah,
better than Transformers?
yeah.
But not as good as The Rock.
No, I'll also put it this way: there's more of a plot in Transformers than there is in this one.
Oh wow.
Like I said,
Wow,
there's
that's
almost
saying
like no
something.
plot.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that's probably his best movie, right? The Rock, Michael Bay.
Bad Boys.
You like Bad Boys better than The Rock?
I've seen it more times.
Okay. There's actually a deal. I don't know if it's still going on now. There's a deal to get the first two Bad Boys movies for free, digital. Let's
Oh
see if I
really?
can find that real quick. Yeah, through AMC of all places. Oh no, it's no longer available. That sucks. There was a yeah, he was
Like, are you talking about AMC theaters or like American Movie Channel
AMC
AMC?
theaters. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
like oh, sign up for AMC Stub members. Even the free version of it you could do, and then click here or select this and input this promo code. And here's free HD version of Bad Boys 1 and 2. I don't know how, but maybe it was a mistake and that's why it's not working now, but cuz before that I also saw a deal that was like, "Oh, get both versions for free when you see when you buy a ticket for the third one." So maybe there was a mistake on that, I don't know, but I snagged them. So, anyways, I got one more movie.
Okay.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I want to see it. I want to see that one.
I don't know if I like Quentin Tarantino films
I don't, but I still want to see it.
because this is like I really like Django Unchained. That was him, right?
I think so.
I really like that movie because I mean stuff happens in that movie. Like a lot of at least a lot of the some of the Quentin Tarantino movies that I've seen, it's like stuff happens, but like it doesn't really feel like it end like some of the movies end it that when they end, you don't feel like you don't have like closure or like feel like, you know, it's hard to explain, but like this is just like that. Like stuff happens in this movie, but like a lot of it feels unnecessary and a lot of it just like the stuff with Margot Robbie, I'm kind of like I don't get why she was in this movie.
Isn't she up for an Oscar for that one? For that one, I know. The movie is up
Is she?
for a Best Picture.
Is she? I thought she was up for like isn't she in that Bombshells movie? If she's up for an Oscar for this movie, I don't know because most of the movie is just her. Like most of the movie is just her in a movie theater watching her, like watching her
Okay,
movie.
then maybe not then.
Like spoilers, there's not a lot that happens with Margot Robbie in this movie. Like a lot of it just cuts to her like watching herself and laughing or what
Okay,
like
it is for Bombshell.
yeah, which I want to see that. That looks interesting. That's got her, Charlize Theron, right?
Charlize Theron.
She
However
looks
the hell
good.
you actually say her name.
She just keeps looking better and better as the years go on. Like, oh my god, she is just. Oh, I got Atomic Blonde to watch too. I got to watch
Oh,
that.
this is that Fox News.
Yeah, the
Okay.
anchor type thing. Yeah, but yeah, Margot Robbie doesn't have a lot. And she doesn't like. I want to say she only says a couple things like in the whole movie. Like she only has a few lines in the whole movie that I remember, and that's at the
Holy
very
shit.
end. What?
No, I just looked up like she looks exactly like the character she's portraying. Like, oh my god.
Oh
I
yeah, what's
crap,
her
what's her
name?
fucking name?
Oh,
Oh, it's bugging me.
I say it's Sharon something, right?
No. Uh Megan Kelly.
No. Oh, is it?
Like she
Okay.
looks exactly like Megan Kelly, and like the way the makeup's done. Like, oh my god.
See, let me look and see this real quick. But yeah, there's not a lot not a
Like
lot
it
of
doesn't
her in
even
it.
look like her like Charlize Theron.
Are you sure? Because that's who she plays. Okay.
Yeah, I looked it up on IMDb.
Okay.
I mean, like take a look at those.
Oh, in that movie, I thought you were talking about in Once Upon a Time. Okay.
No, I'm talking about Bomb.
Okay.
Still talking about Bombshell,
Uh,
dude.
well,
We're
I
still
brought
talking
up
about
Once Upon a
Bombshell.
Time, so
Yes, but we moved on from that one. Okay, yeah.
because yeah, she plays Sharon Tate in Once Upon a
Okay.
Time in Hollywood, and this movie is so long. Like it feels so long because like it's like oh okay this happens and
Well, it
oh
does have like
here's
a 3 hour run. Oh, almost 3
two
hours. 2 hours and 40
241
minutes.
yeah But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a big Tarantino fan, I guess.
I'm not either.
I mean, I've never have been, but this kind of seemed like it wasn't going to be a Tarantino style movie like his other ones normally are, you know?
Whose feet do you see in this movie?
I think it's Margot Robbie
Okay, because it's Quentin Tarantino. You're going to see somebody's feet.
cuz like like I said, she's in a lot in the movie in a lot of this movie, like that a lot of her scene is like her in a movie theater watching a movie that her character is in.
Okay.
And so you see her and I think she has her feet up, I guess. I guess she has her shoes off, which is kind of weird, I guess, but I don't know. But yeah. Is that a thing with him, his feet?
Uh huh. Yes.
Oh,
It is a known
I
thing that he has a thing for feet.
guess I didn't know that, but yeah, like yeah, there's not a whole lot with her in it. Um wow, more than I thought. Okay. She's on screen for 30 minutes of the movie. It's a little more than I thought, but yeah, that's not a lot. 245 and she's only 30, so yeah, like I said, a lot of it's like just flashes back to her watching her movie and stuff like that. And it's like it's supposed to be like, you know, the kind of a like the story of what was it? Like Rick Dalton and his stunt double Cliff Booth and stuff like that in Hollywood in like the what's like 60s, late 60s. And there's like there's like a scene where he's watch or where Brad Pitt's character, the stunt double Cliff Booth, is like, you know, he picks up he's been seeing this hitchhiker girl or this like hippie girl or whatever, and it's like, oh, is he gonna like fuck her? Like this is kind of creepy, like because he's been like he's been seeing her a few different times, you know, like as he's been driving or whatever, because like you know this is like late career of you know, Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt's their characters' careers.
Hmm.
So like Brad Pitt's characters can't really get stunt work, so he ends up becoming like pretty much like the driver for for Rick Dalton, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, because he lost his license from like DUIs and stuff like that. And like he also talks about like he's his go-to man, so like when he's like, oh, I'm filming this scene, oh, my satellite dish had an issue or whatever, can you go check it out? Or I guess it's his antenna or whatever, so like he does all kinds of stuff for side stuff for him and whatnot. But the was it he finally picks up the hitchhiker girl, the hippie girl or whatever, and takes her to I guess this old abandoned uh film set, you know, film set or whatever, and there's like apparently it's like a cult or whatever, and it's like um the man Charles Manson's cult.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Because this. Yeah. This is. I did hear that this is supposed to take place like during like the Manson murders and stuff
And
like that.
I think that there's an actor who portrays Charles Manson at one point for like one quick scene or whatever.
Yeah, and there's something else recently that came out with Manson, and it's like it's the same actor playing Manson.
Oh, is it? I know they had that TV show with David Duchovny, right? The what was it? I think it was called Ooh. Yeah, David Duchovny, Aquarius. That was a TV show where he played like the guy who's trying to detective who was trying to chase him or whatever. I don't know if that's the same guy or not. But anyways, eh, this a lot happened in this movie, but it's like there's not quite a story. It's just stuff happens, you know?
Yeah.
Then it goes batshit crazy at the end. Like, oh my god. It gets just like, okay, this is kind of, a lot of Tarantino style movie where a lot of dialogue and not a lot of and then it's like, oh my god. At the end there's stuff that happens that's like shit. Okay, that ramped up to 0 to 100 quick. So, but yeah, it's just it's all right, I guess. I mean, I'm not a if you're not a Tarantino fan, then this movie isn't gonna really do a lot for you.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Tarantino films that they're all right. Um, like I didn't really care for Hateful Eight too much.
I don't think I saw that. Yeah, never got around to watching that one. I like Django Unchained. That was pretty good.
That one I haven't seen that one.
That one stuff actually happens, and like, man, Christoph Waltz is so good in that movie. He is so good. Um, I I know everybody loves it, but I just Inglorious Bastards was like, okay,
Yeah, that I
like
haven't seen that
I,
one. I know that this one's kind of sacrilegious. I did not care for Fiction.
I've never seen it. I've seen Reservoir Dogs. That's a lot of nothing happening in that movie.
Yeah, I felt about Pulp Fiction.
Never seen the Kill Bill movies.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know. Like we're just like people listening are probably just like, oh my god, you are the dumbest people in the world. Quentin Tarantino movies are the best thing ever.
yeah. I know
But
people who love Quentin Tarantino films. Mm,
see. Yeah, I mean, just like the Django Unchained, I really like though. That's one I would say is a good one to watch. Like, really enjoyed that one. But yeah, I've just never been a fan of Tarantino movies for whatever reason. Like, just this particular one, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like I said, it just feels like you're. It just stuff happens, but like I don't know, it's just weird. It doesn't feel like a real movie, if that makes any sense. Like it's just stuff happens in their in the their lives or whatever, and it's not like there's a lot of conflict and resolve and stuff like that, like a typical movie or whatnot. Like it's weird, and like I said, the fact that Margot Robbie, you, she seems like she's a big part of this movie, but she's really not. It's kind of weird. Like I said, her
okay.
stuff just felt like unnecessary.
It's in Hunter. That's where like the same guy who plays Marilyn Manson, Marilyn Manson, Charles Manson. Don't confuse those two. Don't
Yeah.
don't confuse those two. Charles Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is the same guy who plays Charles Manson in Mindhunter.
And it's just like one scene where like he's at, I guess, Margot Robbie's husband's house or whatever, and it's like, "Oh, is so and so here?" And the dude's like, "Oh no, they don't live here anymore. And then that's like it. Like that was it. So, and then the was it the hippie, his like cult or whatever, that Brad Pitt goes to like the abandoned, film set or whatever that they're all living at. Um, because it's like a film set that looks like a western town,
Mm-hmm.
so they're mock up buildings and stuff like that, like whatever. They're all talking like, "Oh, Charles would love you," or stuff like that. They're referencing him a lot. So, but yeah, yeah, it was a longer movie, and it felt it too. Like I said, it just stuff happens, but and was it the Bruce Lee like scene was
Mm,
I mean, I know there was controversy behind that, and I
really?
can kind of see why, cause yeah, cause I guess his family or whatever, and like China and or they're is like he gets portrayed kind of like in a bad way almost, and he gets his ass kicked by Brad Pitt's character.
All right. I know
So
the
that was
the trailer, the Bruce Lee that and from the trailer that made me laugh. The I forget like the lines he says, but like I if I hit you and kill my hands are lethal weapons. If I hit you, I could kill you, and I'd be arrested for murder, or I'd be arrested. And I was like,
yeah,
yeah, that's called murder. Like that made me laugh.
yeah, like they really make him feel like kind of a douche character or kind of a douche, like which I don't know. I don't know if that's how Bruce Lee really was or not, but apparently his like family, his estate or whatever, like were mad about that. So I don't know, but yeah, the people who love Tarantino though, they're gonna love the great movie for them. But like for us, I mean, if you really want to watch it, then sure, go ahead. But like, don't watch this like late at night. I would say that because like if you're starting to get tired, this movie is just gonna make you like, oh my god, this is dragging on, and because that's what I did. I watched this like late at night, like my last thing I was gonna watch before bed, and I found I can't do that. I can't watch like long stuff or stuff that's gonna really get me invested, or like stuff that could potentially like affect me emotionally. That's why I was kind of talking about like, oh, one night I just wanted to watch some stupid comedy. That's why I watched Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Mm.
Because I can finish that, and it's not gonna like, I'm not gonna be sitting in bed at night, right? Trying to go to sleep thinking about, you know, that movie. So, that's it. Yeah. You got anything else?
I got nothing else.
Alrighty. I guess that's it for this week's I recommend style episode of the podcast. Um, which be sure to check out the site, thegeeksftw.com, for links to all of our stuff, Twitch, Discord, YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at thegeeksftw. Stuart's at Casual Terror, and I'm at Geeky William. And we'll see you next week.
And remember, no animals were harmed in any of this podcast.
I had some other stuff I could have talked about, but nah. Could have gone more into Batwoman. Batwoman's good. I'm kind of shocked. I'm surprised how much I'm liking Batwoman.
I keep saying one of these days I want to get back into the CW shows, and then I never do.
Well, what was it? Legends kind of fell off. Like I really enjoyed the first two seasons of Legends, but like season three and are they on four now? I can't remember, but like they kind of dipped in quality. Flash has kind of dipped in quality. Uh, Last season was weird, but yeah. But hey, Batwoman just started up, so that's a jumping on point for that.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's I'm enjoying it. It's surprisingly good. Was it Ruby Rose? She's pretty good as the character. It's real interesting, like her and the villain dynamic that's happening, the overarching story and stuff. That I kind of like that. I have no idea if that's how it is in the comics or not, because I don't know too much about Batwoman,
Yeah, I know next to nothing.
ex- except except for it's Bruce Wayne's cousin. That's about it, and the fact that she's a lesbian. That's 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 all I really know. But there's some interesting stuff like with her and her version of the Joker, kinda. I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
Holy crap! It is 9 o'clock. I didn't realize it was that late. I
Yep.
haven't eaten dinner yet.
I have not as well. So,
So I will talk to you later.
alrighty, sounds good. Later.